Welcome back to She Talks Money, the podcast where we talk wealth, entrepreneurship, and making bold money moves without apology. Today's guest is the definition of that. I'm joined by a powerhouse entrepreneur who's stepping into a major new chapter, launching her own real estate team at Compass after years of working with one of the top producing teams in New York City. With a background in law, an MBA, and experience on Wall Street, she brings a unique blend of discipline, vision, and deep investment knowledge to her new role as founder and team leader. We're diving into her journey, her bold move into entrepreneurship, and what it takes to build a brand, define success on your own terms, and bet on yourself and win. Welcome, Lynne.
Thanks for having me, Jennifer. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. You are such a powerhouse boss woman. I love it. I saw your Instagram and I was like, I have to interview you because you just represent so much of what we preach and talk about on this podcast and what so many women strive to be. So I'm excited to hear a little bit about your journey. If we can start out by telling us who you are today and what inspired this exciting new chapter of launching your own team.
Great. I'm happy to share a little bit more about my background. It was very traditional. I went to law school. I was on Wall Street for many years, and I wanted to eagerly move up the ladder of Wall Street. So I ended up going back to Cornell to get my MBA. I felt like that gave me a little bit more of a scholarly approach to Wall Street, and maybe I was hoping at the time a little bit more significant in terms of like leadership skills. And, I felt like I checked all the boxes in terms of the education. And the reality was I worked for a bank and I got hungry to own my own business. And I was at a point in my career and an inflection point where I knew it was a bit now or never. So I'm sure I was like everybody else where I was watching $1 Million Listing and all the reality television shows that made real estate look really intriguing and sexy. So I gave it a go, and it was a really big pivot, but I was confident that I had the skills. I knew I had spent time getting a law degree, an MBA. I had very strong financial skills from working on Wall Street for over 15 years, and I was ready to give it a go. And like you said, just bet on myself.
That's awesome. I love that. So you worked with one of New York City's top real estate teams. What was the biggest lesson you carry forward as you branch into your own?
I really work with a fabulous group of people here in Manhattan. We were one of the leaders in the New York City market year after year. For the 7 years that I was there, we were consistently the number 1 or number 2 team. And one of the things that I think I learned the most, especially regarding teams, is that real estate, like most industries, it's not a solo sport. It's really a team sport. And if you connect with the right people and you get the right support professionally from your company's management, from all the people that are ancillary to the business, specifically in real estate. So we have mortgage brokers and designers and architects and additional bankers and attorneys. If you really surround yourself with a winning team, it's your path to success.
And I see that over and over again with the most successful people in this industry. In general, you're right, are the people that have surrounded themselves with a team of exceptional partners that complement their business. So that's amazing. I love that. How do you balance the discipline of structure with the creativity of like brand building, especially in real estate?
Real estate, like I'm sure all industries, really takes a lot of discipline in the sense that there are secrets to success. And if you do it consistently, being consistent trumps everything else. So as long as you stay on a consistent path and you do everything that you're supposed to do and you check all the boxes and you do it day after day after day, it gets boring. But in the end, it is a secret to success. It's the recipe. So balancing that, you need sparks of energy. You really need vision. You need to believe in yourself, even when other people are not necessarily cheerleading for you. You really need to cheerlead for yourself. And I find inspiration around me. It could be at midnight or it could be at 6 a.m. but I take
Mhm.
time out of the day-to-day working within my business to frankly work on my business. And I try to find those sparks of inspiration when I'm not required to do everything else I have to do throughout the day of work.
Yeah, I love that, and that I mean, that I speak that, right? That's how this podcast really was born. It was like, I'm disciplined, I do the things every day in my mortgage business, but there was something else calling me to reach more people, and this is like my creative outlet, right? I get to do more fun things, and it does complement my business for sure, but I get to take that creativity side out as well, so that's super fun. What mindset shifts were required for you to stop being, and I'm sure you are still partly the executor, but the executor and start being more the visionary when you started a team?
It even actually dates back to before starting a team here at Compass. A big transition was coming from Wall Street, where you have a 401k and you have health insurance and you have all the support that you need so that you can just go to work on a daily basis and be your best in your job.
Mhm.
When I transitioned into real estate, I walked away from all of that. So that is when I felt like I really had to bet on myself and really be a visionary in terms of where I was starting, like literally starting on day one in real estate because I hadn't done it before to where I am now. Now I understand the structure and what it takes to get a deal over the finish line and obviously manage my finances and have health insurance and life insurance and all the buzzwords that we all hear in corporate America. But
Yeah.
making transition from having that support to really, jumping off the diving board and going solo, that took, it took a little bit of, let's say, gut,
Courage.
a little bit of courage.
Courage and guts, I think, too. Are there any daily routines or habits that help keep you focused and aligned as you're building something on your own?
You have to do a little bit of self-care in the morning when it's still quiet. If I can get a little yoga in or run down to the gym, I'll try to squeeze that in. I have a puppy. I take the puppy out for a walk. You get a little bit of time to focus on yourself. And then in terms of leadership, I think it really starts to transition and your day becomes, frankly, about everybody else. It becomes about satisfying your clients, giving your clients this secret sauce to a successful deal, working with colleagues, working with other people that are in the industry that support me. And I would say like most of my day is probably outward focused on them. And then when I have time either in the morning or night, again, you try to give yourself a little love.
Yeah, I know. My husband still thinks I'm crazy because I get up at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm like, I get up though because that's like my only hour to me that I can do anything for myself because you're right, the rest of the day is spent on other people, whether it's family or clients or partners or whatnot. So that's great that you still take a little bit of time for yourself. You definitely need that. Um, how do you handle the inevitable self-doubt that comes with pivoting or starting fresh with all of your experience?
If you're prepared and an opportunity comes your way, you'll be successful. And it really comes down to preparation. Like I said,
Yeah.
I knew I spent 7 years in school. I knew I spent 15 years on Wall Street, showing up every day at 6 a.m. to cover clients and then working all day and going out all night and traveling around the globe because I covered a lot of international clients. So I put the work in. And when you put the work in, I think you can look in the mirror and you're ready to go.
Yeah, I love that. What advice do you have for women in real estate who want to elevate from agent to entrepreneur or building a team?
Again, your network is your secret to success. I really believe that, especially in New York City.
Hmm.
You have to get out there. You have to put your body physically where the magic's happening. So you have to get out there. You have to meet the best attorneys, the best bankers, the best mortgage brokers, the best designers, the best architects. You have to know, especially if you're working for a company, your C-level team, your managers are the people that support you and give you resources, meet the developers. You have to transition from somebody that does day-to-day operational work to really, at least the way I look at it, starting to really have a good appreciation of where is revenue generation going to come from and how you couple your expenditures in a way that's impactful. If you're spending money, how are you really going to how are you going to get a return on your investment so that you build a profitable business? And one of the absolute, I think, most successful ways to approach this business is to really build up that network on a consistent basis.
Perfect. Brilliant. That's great advice. What role do you believe real estate can play in building wealth? This is a podcast. She talks money. So, what role do you believe that real estate plays in building wealth, especially for women?
Well, one of the reasons I thought it was really compelling to talk to you on She Talks Money is that it is such an important topic, especially for women. So, as you know, on TikTok, everybody has a knockout morning routine. They keep a refrigerator with 10 different products that everyone gets from Sephora. They meditate, they do yoga. They there's a lot of stuff that makes us look good and feel good. But one of the things that I feel that really gets neglected, especially with women, is focusing on ourselves and our financial health and
Yes.
well-being. And owning a home is vital to building a legacy for your family. It's a really key investment. The same way owning stocks and bonds, having a 401k, having health insurance, life insurance, having a really pretty financial snapshot and picture makes you feel really good when you wake up in the morning. And I feel like that's something that doesn't get the attention that your podcast really focuses on. And this to
Yeah.
me is really compelling.
I appreciate that. And I would say, just in my own experience, nothing built, and don't get me wrong, I'm a girly girl. I like makeup, I like skincare, I like all the things, but nothing builds confidence more than, and then not that it's a dollar amount, but just feeling successful, feeling like I'm doing my part, building my business, helping other people do the same has been the greatest reward for me too. So, and I know, what is it? What is the stat? Like, people who own real estate are, I think it's like 40 times at least wealthier than those that rent or don't own real estate. So I think to spread, and my goal obviously with this podcast is to spread that knowledge and help, especially women, find ways that they can do that because it makes such a difference. I've been doing this 24 years and I can look at clients that have bought, and I love my younger generations, my I call them kids now, but in their 20s, and they're finding ways to purchase real estate. It's like, I don't even think they realize the leg up that they're going to have in life by making that one
Exactly.
decision. So
It's a very smart move.
yeah,
And like we've been discussing, there's a lot of focus on giving yourself permission to go and have a great morning routine and a great evening routine. You feel really good when you wake up in the morning and you own your home and you take a percentage of your earnings and you invest it in yourself. It really gives you stability and it gives your family a legacy and it gives you security. And I'd love to partner with you in this conversation because I think hopefully we can inspire people to at least examine how can they improve their financial.
yeah, absolutely. Some of the most rewarding conversations have been sitting down with people and helping them find ways to kind of get out of debt and see the vision of, like, this isn't what's defining you now. Let's find a way out. And here's how you can maybe pay down that debt while at the same time finding a little bit to put towards an investment or savings for a house or whatnot. And it's really fun to follow those people a year later to see where they're at. And really life changing things can happen when they put a little bit of focus on the bright and shiny object of building wealth, and maybe buying a house versus the other thing. So cool. I love that we're on the same page with that. As you build your team, what qualities are you looking for in the people that you want to surround yourself with?
I love to work with people that are ambitious. If you're ambitious and you're confident and you have a belief in yourself, success.
Yeah, that's so true. I've had a lot of different people on my team, and it's like, and I love to coach people, but something that I've learned over the years is it's really hard to light the fire. If somebody doesn't have that initial spark, right? And like you said, ambition to do well or succeed, that is a hard thing to motivation you can't really give people. I can get you excited about it, but you have to have the motivation to do the work on your own, right?
And I was going to say, I think your industry is very similar and ancillary to mine. You can easily teach the elements of a mortgage. I can easily teach the elements of doing a real estate transaction, but you have to wake up in the morning and you must have passion. And that's in any industry. In order to succeed and have a fulfilling experience doing it inside yourself, you have to really want it.
Yeah, absolutely. What is one message you would want to leave with the women who are ready to lead, invest, or build something bigger this year?
It's an interesting quote because I heard it from Wayne Gretzky.
I
He
love
is obviously a world-class hockey player.
Yes.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Hmm.
And that really resonates with me. Go for it. Whatever it is you want to pursue, just go for it.
My word this year was fearless. Like, just do it. You don't have to have it all figured out. And I'm a type A. I love everything written out. I like the start point and the end point and the entire blueprint written out in front of me. And I know that about myself. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to level up, I have to let go of that a little bit. And I can figure out my first couple steps, but I'm going to stumble and fall, and that's okay. I'm always willing to get back up, but you have to start, right? So figure out what you want to do and take those first couple steps and just begin, right? This is an off question a little bit, but I'm curious because we're in different markets. I'm in the Midwest, you're in New York City, right? We're seeing a lot of multiple offers on properties here. And I know on your site, and you're very well known for your expert negotiation skills. So are you willing to give our listeners, and so many of them are real estate agents, a tip for negotiating in markets like this?
Come prepared. If you come prepared, whether they're an all cash buyer or they're using a mortgage, especially if they're using a mortgage, have all the documentation in place. Make sure they've already retained an attorney or at least interviewed attorneys so they know who they're comfortable working with. You have to do all of the legwork so when you're ready to engage in a dialogue and get a deal done, that the second you can come to a meeting of the minds on price and terms, the contract goes out and you're ready to go.
Awesome. Love that. Where can our listeners find you?
I'm easy to find. I'm on Instagram, Lynne Simone Mazin. I'm very easy on text, WhatsApp, email, cell, however you want to find me. But Instagram is these days the easiest way to catch me, Lynne Simone Mazin.
Perfect. And she's got an amazing website if you want to gawk at some amazing listings in New York City. I was looking at that this morning. So thank you so much, Lynne, for joining us. You are such a powerful example of what it looks like to blend education, experience, and courage and create something totally your own. If this episode lit fire under you, send it to a friend who's ready to step up and bet on herself too. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and tag us on Instagram. I will include our handles in the show notes. And until next time, remember, you're not just working in your business, you're building your legacy.